Let us get right to the Jersey Central Newsmaker hotline. We're down to just a couple weeks ago for the WCTCAM.com Pro Football Pick'em Challenge. Two very interesting and, dare I say, controversial games that were played on Sunday to kind of set the stage for next week's Super Bowl. We've had fun trading picks all week, and I think it goes without saying that I am defeated, no doubt defeated, by the general manager of Catena, Mercedes-Benz in Edison, Doug Wells, who is back with us this morning. Good morning, Doug. How you doing?
Good morning, Bert. How are you?
I'm still reeling from the non-call in the New Orleans game, which, of course, I'll talk about that in just a little bit, and we'll take a look back at our picks. But behind the wheel of a beautiful vehicle, I'm sure, this morning, Doug. What kind of car are you driving around in?
Well, today, believe it or not, I am actually driving a client of mine who also is a friend. I'm driving his Sprinter.
Nice.
Commercial van bringing it in for service for him, and his guy's on vacation for a week.
Wow.
And I have to say one thing. When it comes to a commercial van, this thing drives like a car. It doesn't rattle. It's smooth. It doesn't get blown all over the place on the highway. And people always say, "Well, why are you always pushing the Mercedes-Benz commercial vans?" I said, "You don't think I'm right about your cost efficiency? Why would Federal Express and Amazon choose Mercedes-Benz?"
Yeah,
they did it because they're the lowest cost to run and operate.
There's no way they would invest in vehicles, Doug, that are constantly breaking down and constantly in the shop. They went with quality, and that's why they went with your brand right there. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's just, and as I'm driving along, I mean, it's just a really, really incredible, except I have his company logo on the side of the van.
Right, so. Right. How many people are looking at that like, wow, that's a Mercedes-Benz commercial vehicle. I got to get one of those. Exactly. Are they on the lot? Anybody can drive up, and you got those on the lot, Doug, regularly?
They're actually on the lot, and
nice.
This Saturday we have, starting at 11 o'clock in the morning, we have people can come in and test drive all the 2019s, and it's the Sprinters and the Metruses. There's passenger vans, there's crew vans, there's, box trucks, there's refrigerated trucks, all the different types of vans. They can actually come in, tour them, see what they're all about, just to get an idea and have a little nosh while they're there.
Beautiful.
So, you'd be surprised how many people want to see a really good van.
I'm sure. 11 o'clock Saturday at the dealership right there on Route 1 North. Be sure to stop by and say hello and go for a little spin, if you will, too. All right, these games that just wrapped up Sunday. First, we'll congratulate the WCTC winner this week was Daryl from Kendall Park. Got both games correctly, and he was the closest with the final score, too, so he gets some Rutgers men's basketball tickets. Congrats to him. As far as our picks go, Doug, I made the mistake of picking both home teams. I could very easily blame the referees and say, you know what, because of the worst call, or should I say worst non-call in professional football history, I lost the game with the Saints and the Rams. But I'm not going to dwell on that, Doug. That was horrendous refereeing. But you know what? The Saints should not have even been in that situation. They should have had that game put away. There's 2 turnovers in the first quarter that they got 6 measly points out of. They scored touchdowns on those first 2 drives. This game is over. That call means nothing. So we got to stop blaming the non-call, which even you'll agree, Doug, it was a horrendous non-call, maybe the worst one you've ever seen. Right?
I have to say it was a call that probably should have happened. So hindsight's 20/20. So when you're looking at it in slow motion, you will agree. Remember, that ball should have been intercepted by that guy.
You're right.
There was no way that ball, because it was going to hit the back of the New England player. So it was not like he was going to be able to jump up and catch it, and then he got taken out. That ball, the New England player had them blocked out. And if you saw that at fast speed, it almost looked like it was, he was hitting him just about when the ball was getting there at the same time. When you slow it down, you realize that wasn't the case. But even if he didn't touch him, the ball wasn't going near him.
But even the referees are saying, oh, you know what, we made a bad call. The league said that they missed it.
There still should have been a call for touching, but during both games, there was a lot of calls against the Rams that I thought were really marginal. It shouldn't have been called against the Rams. Mm-hmm. And New England, they called so many calls against New England that I thought most of them were really shouldn't have been called. So when you come to those calls, Any one of those calls during the course of the game could have changed the tempo of the game.
Yeah, and as a result of this game, Doug, I think we're going to see mass changes going forward. First of all, they're going to stop. They have to stop this nonsense of putting together these all-star crews. Listen, you have a crew that you work with throughout the entire season, and then the league will cherry pick, okay, you're the best umpire, you're the best referee, you're the best line judge, you're the best this. Rather than have an entire crew that has worked together an entire season, they put together these all-star referee teams, and there's no communication. These guys don't know each other. There's no rapport, and you have situations like that. Another thing, what would the harm have been of throwing the flag, getting together, talking it over? How many times do you see in a game, Doug, where they say, "Oh, well, there's no penalty on the play," and then they just reset and they continue playing? What's the harm of throwing the flag and then picking it up? At least this way they would have gotten some credit for trying, right?
No, I agree 100%. And you miss one call, and you think about it when you watch any game. Think about how many missed calls there are.
I know.
One way or the other. I'll always focus on the last one.
There's lawsuit season as a result of this. There are people, Doug, that are trying to get the legal system involved to make them replay the last 2 minutes of the football game, which, good luck with that. I don't think that's going to happen. But in any event, the Los Angeles Rams are headed back to the Super Bowl following the win. I had the Saints. I went with the home team. Doug went with the Rams, and we're going to talk about your picks in just a second there. But the other game, Doug, with New England visiting the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, the dream scenario for Kansas City is you get the Patriots at your field. It's cold. It's nasty. You get Tom Brady, and it's like, finally, we're going to find a way to win. Not only did they have the lead twice in the fourth quarter, they couldn't stop Tom Brady, and that overtime, there was no way that Kansas City defense was going to stop the Patriots from scoring in that overtime.
Oh no! And when they flipped the coin toss and they were getting the ball, you knew that was it. They were done. They were going to go down that field.
And even Kansas City, the great fourth quarter they had, Doug, if the Chiefs won the toss, I think the same thing would have happened. There's no way the Patriots were going to stop them with all the points they scored in that fourth quarter.
Well, the key was if Kansas City, I think, would have gone down. And if they got close enough for the field goal, they would have gone for the field goal. And then New England would have still come back and gone, because you need a touchdown. If you're the first one to get the ball, you need a touchdown to win.
Right.
There are way too many teams that don't play for the touchdown. They play for the field goal. And New England is not one of those teams.
No, they're
going
not.
to go, and they're going to play for the win.
Now it's starting the argument, too, like, okay, so now we have a playoff game, a championship playoff game, that because a team won the coin toss, the other team doesn't get the ball and their season is over. Now we're going to start opening up that can of worms again and saying, how do we make overtimes a little more fair and equitable? I don't know what else we could do, Doug. You get the ball, you score a touchdown. Why shouldn't you be allowed to win, right?
Well, that's the key. If you only score a field goal, the other team gets an opportunity to either tie it or score a touchdown to win. If you allow the first team to go down the field and score a touchdown, then you allow them to score a touchdown.
That's right.
So the game plan is, the mindset where it really should be is, pretend there's 2 minutes left on the regular clock. And they extended the game 2 minutes. If you let them go down the field, it's sort of how New England's, Kansas City got down that field 1, 2, 3, in a couple two plays. It just gave them a lot of yardage to get down there to get that field goal to tie the game.
In seconds, they got down that field. You're right, and they had the chance. Kansas City defense had the Patriots a couple times, 3rd and long in the overtime, and they couldn't get a stop. And there was that one play where there was an interception, and it was a neutral zone infraction on the Chiefs. I'm like, you've been playing football all these years. You don't know where to line up. You don't know where to line up to get ready for a play. How can you let that happen? How does that happen? This is supposed to be a professional athlete. You don't even know where to line up. It's crazy.
And I got to say, no matter I'm a Giant fan. I like the Jets. There are so many people that want to hate New England because they're so good.
Right.
To me, I don't hate them. I respect them, and I'm blown away by the way the discipline. The way they know how, and Belichick knows how to play. They paid attention to making sure that Mahomes couldn't throw that back all the way to the other side. They had that blocked out.
That's right.
They started off the game running, completely the opposite of what Kansas City was expecting.
That's it.
And they dominated the first half, and they really put the if Brady didn't throw that interception at the in the first half.
That's right.
Zone, people aren't talking about stuff like that.
No, I know.
And if you take a look at Gronkowski, see some of the blocking plays he made.
right.
That it's just incredible. Besides making one of the one hell of a great catch, which there was interference all over him, and the flag wasn't thrown.
Right.
Flags were not thrown against Kansas City on New England for having their hands all over the receiver.
I know. Gronkowski is a beast. There's nobody like him. It's really just incredible. But and then you know what? Kansas City was doomed when they won the toss and deferred. I said, you guys are crazy. You're going to give the ball to Tom Brady. He's going to march down. You're going to play from behind right from the very beginning. And sure enough, that's what happened. So I don't know. New England, they win the AFC. They're headed back to the Super Bowl, and I guess all's right in the world. I will never forgive Mo Lewis for decking Drew Bledsoe and getting Tom Brady in a game because 18 years later, they haven't looked back. All because of one late hit that knocked the quarterback out for the Patriots, and my life has been a disaster ever since, Doug. It's not fair.
And if you watch Brady, no matter what anybody says, there's a guy, he knows he's going to get hit, but he stands in that pocket because he's looking for it where, a lot of people don't stand in the pocket anymore. They immediately start to move.
Nope.
And, you stand in that pocket, it gives you a better chance of making a better play. And it's quite interesting. A friend of mine is Boomer Esiason, and him and I have talked about it. He's giving me, the insight only a quarterback like him can give you the insight on.
Right.
He'll tell you, standing in that pocket.
That's it. GOAT. They call him the greatest of all time for a reason, and he has certainly earned it. So he's headed back to the Super Bowl next week. Doug will be with me. We'll do our picks on Thursday morning for the last game of the year. Speaking of your picks, Doug, was there some sort of technical issue? You're still beating me, and had there been no technical problems, you would have jumped past Tommy G. Is that correct?
Well, what happened is when you and I made our picks the other day, remember I told you I was going to take the two away teams,
yes.
give you a chance?
Yeah.
Give you the two favorites?
Yes.
I didn't hit the save button.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay.
So it automatically, the system automatically gives you the favorites and locks it in. So in the system, it looks like I picked the two home teams, which I didn't. And, of course, they lost.
So that's why...
I'd be ahead of Tommy G, so let Tommy G know that.
I will. I will. I'll definitely tell him.
I had a thumb malfunction that gave him the opportunity.
He's so lucky. All right. Well, now you get a chance to pass him next week because you're 2 behind him, but you're 10 ahead of me. So I might as well concede at this point. So it is still wide open as to who's going to get that beautiful remote control car and, of course, get the lunch or dinner, which looks like it will be courtesy of me now. So we have one more game to go. Doug will be back with me next Thursday. We'll get our final picks in for this year. And who knows what's going to happen when we get to the game in Atlanta coming up between Los Angeles and New England. And it's going to be just spectacular stuff. Doug, thank you as always. We'll talk again next Thursday. And, man, we got one game left to go in this season. I can't believe it.
You got it. It was a lot of fun, though. Didn't we have? I thought we had fun.
We had a great time. I enjoyed getting whipped by you on a weekly basis. So I look forward to it, Doug. Thank you, man. We'll talk soon.
I got lucky. That's all. I got lucky.
If you say so. Thank you, Doug. We'll talk soon, all right?
You got it.